Well, it's a lot easier to make these opening statements when you win a game. And, I was scared to death, worried about New Mexico State coming in and, had won a couple of games and they pretty prolific moving the ball and difficult on defense. And I just was hoping that we could come out of the losing habit that you can get into if you don't watch it and fight and be emotional and fight and play the game as hard as we needed to win the game. And I was really proud of our coaches for the plans that we got together, but I was more proud of the way our kids played. And they played hard. They played, a clean game, but a hard-nosed football game. We rushed for over 300, and our guys played well on offense. I think we had one turnover. We had two, I think. One long interception in the end zone and one fumble going in. And things that will beat you, and we got to correct, but it was all in all, a good game. We had a kickoff return, which really swung the momentum after they had scored, swung the momentum back to us in short order. And Chandler Worthy was the guy that was the returner, and we had some guys that really played well on defense. So Jamal Statham being one, and I think those two guys were special teams and defensive player of the week in the league, which is awesome. And but I'm hopeful that we liked the way that went and enjoyed it, and the taste of victory motivates us to do more if we, depending if we're good enough. We got some pretty good folks coming in here, and we got to go to some pretty salty places, and starts with Appalachian State coming to Troy this next week.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Tommy Bowen with Winston-Salem Journal. Please go ahead, Tommy.
Hello, Coach. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How different is it for you, knowing that this is your last season as coach? Does it change your worldview, so to speak? What's it like?
Oh, I'm no different right now. I mean, I'm trying to coach ball and win games and as many as possible. We're hanging on a thread as far as opportunities, but you never know how a team will take everything and be motivated by what, and so we're just coaching them day to day and trying to get a plan for each and every team. There's some uniqueness about each and every team you play, whether it be offense, defense, special teams, or whatever. And certainly, from what I've seen to this juncture on Monday morning, Appalachian State can beat anybody in our league. And I don't know that they struggle a little bit with the winning thing, and but it's really college football is wide open, and anybody can win any game, and certainly App State's got great tradition, and Scott's done a great job with them, in my opinion, and transition and changing into the league and all that kind of stuff. And so we know we'll have our hands full. We have to play good, and whoever wins the game will be the team that plays the hardest and best for 60 minutes.
Yeah. You see improvement in your team, and in what areas specifically do you think your team's improving?
Well, our young quarterback's playing good. He has done good over there. Our runners, our running backs all came to the party, especially Brandon Burke. And Chandler Worthy is playing well as a receiver. He's covered kicks. He's returned kicks. He's really sort of our multiple guy. And defensively, we got better. And Jamal Statham's playing good as one of the ends. Tyler Roberts is the other edge guy, and he's playing good. And we got our defensive line and front seven has been pretty good. We still got to cover better, which most everybody would probably tell you that today, because everybody's throwing it a bunch. And so we've got some guys that are doing pretty good, and I think if we can add a few more in there, we we can be a decent team in a given day. And so, you know, we need to make sure we get prepared well to play against App State.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes.
Thank you, Tommy. Our next questions come from Boone, North Carolina. Caller, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. This is Steve Farrar calling from the Tiger Democrat in Boone.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that playoff game that you guys played against App State? I know it was a while ago.
Well, I remember it well.
It was a while ago for both of us because I was actually there too. But
that was close to the 9/11 year. I think may have been the 9/11 year. But we played App at App and won during the season or early part of the season, and then they came down here during the playoffs and beat us. And so you know, it was a little turnaround. They won the one that counted the most, probably, you know, in the playoffs. But very, very well coached team. I'm pretty sure Coach Moore was coaching them then, and you know, he's been a great coach all along, and certainly, you know, Scott has taken the reins, and you know, to me, they're just continuing to grow and get. They're a young quarterback, certainly somebody that you got to take notice to.
You made the transition to the, well, it was 1A back then, but
right. I still call it that.
What were some of the things that you had to deal with making that transition? What were some of the issues?
Well, we made it without a conference, so we were anybody, anywhere, anytime, and I told them we needed to change that to anybody we could beat at home. And but we were in every conference in America, major conference in America, playing games, getting scheduled until we got in the Sun Belt. And we've been loyal members of Sun Belt now for 10, 11 years. I'm not sure exactly, but you know, and the league gave us some games that were built in each year, you know, and then we played some of those other guarantee games and stuff that everybody has to play, I reckon. And but the transition was hard without a conference. The way that you know, App State, Georgia Southern, and New Mexico State, they've been around a long time anyhow, them in Idaho. But you know, as far as moving up from Georgia Southern and App State, and moving up from the 1AA thing, Texas State, you know, they come in on pretty much on equal terms, you know, and because they come into a conference that they've been able to sort of plan for, and they get conference games, and then of course everybody's gonna play the money games and that kind of stuff, which is I think you got to be careful with how many money games you try to play in accordance with how many home and homes you got outside the league against pretty good teams. I'm sure they got some, we got some too, and so you know, but it's a transition that can be made comparably without too much problem, but there's always scheduling, and conferences paramount.
What was it like? You brought in Oklahoma State that one year. I remember the same.
Yeah, we was well along our way before they came here. You know, and we went out there twice and took it on and played them close, maybe one of those two times. But they're a good program. We caught them here, and we were pretty good football team, and we caught them here and got them pretty good, and we've had Missouri the same way, and Marshall a couple of times, and of course Mississippi State back in the 01 or 02, I can't remember which, but you know, we've had some good moments, but it's still a tough transition when you think about all you have to do, especially if you do not have a conference. You know, the Sun Belt has afforded, with the expansion of our league, has afforded several of the teams that are coming in now a better opportunity, in my opinion.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.